Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics, and welcome to another edition of my Detroit Sports Show right here on blogtalkradio.com, live from the northern outskirts of McBain, Michigan, with yours truly, your host, Taylor Phillips. This is the Red Wings edition, and if you have opinions or want to join in on the conversation, you can call in by phone at 646-478-4837. That's 646-478-4837. This show will be 15 to 30 minutes long as always, and then after the show is all said and done, it'll be archived so you can all listen to it again because it is recorded. Again, the guest phone number is 646-478-4837. That's 646-478-4837. If you want to call in, you can also post your opinions in comments on my talk show post on my timeline on my personal profile, Taylor Phillips, at facebook.com/Phil1DT, on my Detroit sports page, Taylor Phillips's Detroit sports page at facebook.com/Taylor's sports page, and in Taylor Phillips's Detroit sports group. And you can follow me on Twitter and on Tumblr at DT2Phillips. You can also search me on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Google, Taylor Phillips. I'm simulcasting on YouTube via Google. There's also a chat window on blogtalkradio.com for you to comment your opinions. Before we begin talking about the Red Wings here, I'm going to tell you the guidelines for all the listeners of tonight's show. But first, I got to get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Okay, guidelines. Number 1, if you have called in, stay on the line so I can get to you for a talk. If you hang up by mistake, not a big deal. Just redial this number, 646-478-4837, and then stay on the line. Number 2, keep it very clean. No profanity, vulgarity, graphic violence talk, criticism of the host, distasteful disregard, or anything below the belt of any subject matter. Number 3, treat each other with respect. Don't verbally abuse one another, or I'll mute you for the remainder of the show. Number 4, if you don't know much about Detroit sports, you can still just listen to my show for education and entertainment. And number 5, only I can change the topic because I'm the host of the show. Only 2 games going on this past week. Starting off last Monday against the New York Islanders at the Joe. The Wings get shut out 3-0. Their defense was standing like statues in the first period, causing Gustafsson to give up, or not Gustafsson, Peter Mrazek to give up 3 goals. Peter Mrazek played the full game. Shots on goal were 7-6 Islanders, in the first, 11-2 Wings in the second, 10-6 Islanders in the third. Both teams were 0 for 1 on the power play. Very clean game. There may have been a couple of penalty calls that the referees may have missed, but I don't think the referees caused too much trouble. The total shots were 23-19 in favor of the Wings. Not very many shots on goal by either team. Just the first period was just flat out ugly. I gotta tell you, the game could have gone scoreless going into a shootout. The Islanders' defense and Evgeny Nabokov, who still has it in him, came up huge in this game. But the Wings were making too many passes offensively. Didn't even generate much offense. They had a few chances in the second period, but that's apparently about it. Mrazek was not to blame for this. It was the defense. By the way, I hope you all had a great Christmas. Forgot to mention that last week. Hope you got pretty much everything you wanted. I'm Taylor Phillips. This is Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, the Red Wings edition. If you have any opinions to share with me and the world, just give me a call at 646-478-4837. We have about 21 and a half minutes to go in the show, just 8.5 in. There were a few things the Wings could have done. The Wings could have tried tipping the shots past Evgeny Nabokov. They could have tried deking I think most of the shots, I may not recall, but I think went right to Nabokov, but he looked very alert. He looked very alive, in my opinion. So we move on to tonight. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Just a commercial on the radio I didn't like. As I am watching and listening to the Michigan and Kansas State Buffalo Wild Wings bowl game right now, the game is only an hour in, and Kansas State leads 14-3. Apparently in the second quarter, in the beginning of the second quarter. But back to the Wings. That they were in Florida tonight trying to look for some trying to find revenge against the Panthers. Scott Clemenson was in net for the Panthers. Jonas Gustafsson was back in net for the Wings. Fair amount of shots on net from both teams. The Panthers outshot the Wings 36-35, but the Wings actually held on to win the game 4-3. Their first win against the Panthers, and the first win against any team from Florida this season. Henrik Zetterberg, Darren Helm, and Justin Applicator returned to the lineup tonight. Henrik Zetterberg got a goal to make it 2-0. Albertson made it 1-0 first period. Sean Bergenheim got 2 goals. Nick Bogstad had a goal. Then Brendan Smith finally, after constantly racking up penalty minutes and not doing a good job just not doing a good job defensively and doing a good job defensively at different times, finally gets a goal. One times it from his own point blank range. From Kyle Quincy, just 42 seconds into the third period. And then Gustav Nyquist would get the game winner just 38 seconds later from Jakob Kindle and Tomas Tatar, 1:20 into the third. Bergenheim's second goal of the game came at 4:27. Then Gustafsson made 3 incredible saves. The only star of the game for the Red Wings was Henrik Zetterberg, the second star of the game, picking up 1 goal. But Pavel Datsyuk picked up 2 assists. He didn't score any goals, but picked up 2 assists. He should have been the second star. But Nick Bogstad was the third star, scoring 1 goal, and Sean Bergenheim scored 2 goals, first star. Panthers are one of the teams that has had the Wings number this season, but the Wings kept fighting and kept holding on, and they finally pulled one out. The Wings had the momentum from the first period until the second, when the Panthers got on the board, and they pretty much took over from there until the end of the second period. The Wings, I thought the Wings responded well and just barely had to hold on. Jonas Gustafsson made a total of 33 saves. Scott Clemenson made 31. There's Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith's only penalty came at 12-16 for tripping. He's the guy that usually racks up the only Red Wing player usually nowadays that racks up the penalty minutes. But I'm very proud of him getting his first goal. So the Wings went out 4-3 in Florida. Coming up for them this upcoming week, in 2 days, the Wings head to Nashville, gets some revenge on the Predators. Puck drops at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Detroit. And then the Winter Classic at the Big House. The Red Wings and Maple Leafs at 1 on NBC, your local NBC affiliate. And then the Red Wings begin their West Coast road trip, starting in Dallas at 8 against the Stars. That's on Fox Sports Detroit at 8. Then the week after that, they take on the Sharks, Kings, and Ducks through that weekend, through that entire weekend, before heading back east to New York to take on the Rangers on the 16th of January. Winter Classic is on New Year's Day. (2014). Hockeytown Winter Festival is going on prior to at Comerica Park prior to that Winter Classic game at Michigan Stadium. Okay. That does it for the upcoming games segment. Now to check other Detroit sports scores. Eastern Michigan basketball gets pounded by Duke 82-59 in Durham. North Carolina. Michigan State steamrolls the University of New Orleans 101-48 at the Breslin Center. And Michigan finishes off Holy Cross 88-66 at Chrysler Center. The Pistons get smashed again by the Wizards 106-82 in DC. 2 straight losses, both by routes. One in Orlando and one in Washington. I'm gonna break the Pistons down tomorrow on my Pistons edition at 11, right here on Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. The Blog Talk Radio Network. And Michigan is now trailing 21-6 against Kansas State with 4 minutes left in the second and 6 for Michigan. Devin Gardner is out with a broken foot. It appears Michigan is in the red zone. No, they're not. They're in their own territory. They're just past their own 30-yard line. The GLI. Michigan State shuts out Michigan 3-0 in the consolation game earlier today at Comerica Park. And last I checked, the Michigan Tech Huskies and the Western Michigan Broncos were in overtime in the GLI championship game, scoreless or goalless. Better wording in hockey. I'm going to try to check it right now on ccha.com. Okay. What the hell is this? Okay, I'm going to try to go to foxsportsdetroit.com and try to trying to get it. I just found out that Western Michigan defeated Michigan Tech in overtime 1-0. Lucas Hafner was interviewed by Darren Elliott, I think. So I believe he got the game winner. And it was Josh Pitt. Wait, that wasn't Josh Pitt. and trying to get who won the who got the game-winning goal. For Western Michigan. I think it was Lucas Hafner. Lucas Hafner was the goaltender. I'm not really smart at college hockey. It's pretty complicated. I'm gonna try to find out who got the game winner as I keep looking here as the show winds down. Less than 3 minutes left on the show. I'm Taylor Phillips, and this is Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, the Red Wings edition. Red Wings winners 4-3 in Florida against the Panthers tonight in Sunshine Arena. Gonna try to
seconds.
Okay, Western Michigan University's Broncos website does not have the result yet, but I'm here to tell you that I just heard the Broncos beat the Huskies. Western Michigan beats Michigan Tech in overtime, 1-0. So that's about it.
60
It's about all I can tell you guys. So that's it for this Red Wings edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Coming up tomorrow night at 11, I will host the Pistons edition. Until then, this is Taylor Phillips signing off by saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.